goes there. This one here.
Yeah, I think it's moving. It feels really heavy. Oh, thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special day. As you can see, I'm out hot tenting, but today we got a special guest. You want to say hi, Autumn?
Hi.
Say it loud, say hi.
Hi.
So this is Autumn's very first winter camping trip overnight for the entire night, plus it is her very first hot tent winter camping trip. So, very first camping trip and very first hot tent trip. Going to be really cool. So we're actually at a lakefront location. The lake is just in front of us, and this is a new tent. So this is actually the very first time that I'm using this tent. I am truck camping. The truck is just parked right behind the tent, and that's the only reason why I went with a new tent, because coming out here with a tent that you don't know how to set up is the last thing you want to do, especially with a little one with you. So it did take about an hour to kind of familiarize myself with it, get it set up. We do have table and chair, and we do have a very giant cot. So a big camp cot that we have set right in front of Autumn at the front door. It's a raised bed, very nice and luxurious. Now, the reason why the bed is directly in the front door is because that's the only place that it would fit, but this tent does have 3 doors. So we're gonna be going in and out of the tent through the end door right here, and the same thing on the other side. I just want to leave this open for now so we can kind of have access to the bed to sit down, use it as a sitting area, organizing area, and whatnot. And then later on, as it gets colder, we're going to shut that door and get the wood stove going. So, Autumn's just finishing up her little snacks. You got goldfish. And we're going to go and collect some birch bark and some firewood. You want to go collect some wood?
Yeah.
All right, you need your mittens on first though, okay? All right, so we're going to go collect some twigs, some birch bark, and get it ready for the indoor fire. All right, guys, we just got back from the woods, and Autumn and me, we both went and collected a bunch of birch bark. And on the way back, I found this dead standing kind of smallish piece of hardwood. So we're gonna break all the little branches off this, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna use these to light our wood stove with a little later on, because Autumn wants hot chocolate, and guess what I need?
Yeah.
Coffee.
Yeah.
I need a big coffee.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do hot chocolate for Autumn, coffee for me, and I think we are gonna do an outside fire because I actually brought a few pieces of firewood in the truck already cut. They're big rounds, they're not split, but I think I might do an outside fire because there's a fire pit about, I don't know, maybe 40 feet away from the tent, well enough from the tent that I'm not worried about embers hitting it. But we do wanna have kind of that camp feel because it is, like I said, a very special trip, Autumn's first trip. And here she is doing all the work. So we're gonna have fun tonight. Here, let me break that for you. And then you can break those guys. Make them a little bit smaller,
Yeah.
so they'll fit inside of the wood
Okay,
stove,
one.
okay? It's all right. So we're going to be having a really nice evening tonight. I'm hoping we can sit out in front of the lake with that outside fire. So that's kind of the reason why we're doing so much small wood prep. But yeah, we're just going to have fun with it today. We're just going to goof around and we're just going to have fun, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to have snacks later on. We're going to have movie. I downloaded some movies for you so you can watch them. And we're just going to have a good time out here.
Christmas Chronicles.
Christmas Chronicles?
Yeah.
I don't think I have that, but I do have Madagascar. The little zoo animals.
I don't want
You don't want I have about 5 or 6 movies for you, okay? We'll pick one, all right? Look at that big one.
Cool. We are making a fire pile.
We are making a fire pile.
There, the fire's over there.
That fire pit's over there, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring all the firewood on the mat. We're gonna pick the whole thing up and then move it all together
Yeah.
instead of moving back and forth. Oh, that was a hard one. Yeah, I'll break this one off for you.
Okay, thanks.
You want to do that one and I'll do the big one again?
Yeah.
Okay, let me trade. Watch out.
I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah? Get all this broken up and then we'll have hot chocolate, okay? I'll get out the little canister stove and we'll make some hot chocolate. All right. Well, that's a pretty good job. I think we got enough. What do you think?
No?
No? We need more?
Yeah.
Well, we better go get more so we have some hot chocolate, okay?
Yeah.
Let's go grab some more real quick.
Yeah, let's go grab some more really quick. This way. I'm doing it.
Push. Pull. Push. Pull. Push. You're doing it. Pull. Try 2 hands. Pull back towards us. There. Push. There you go. 2 hands. Pull. Push. Oh. There you go. Almost. 2 hands. Pull back. Now push. There you go. Pull. Push. Oh, oh, oh. One more. Pull. Push. Ah, look at that. You got it. It's a pretty good piece of wood, huh? Can we do another one?
Yeah.
Okay, let me start it for you, okay?
Thanks.
Alright, there you go. Now remember, 2 hands. Ready to push? Ooh. Pull. There you go. There you go. You're doing it.
I'm doing it with my other hand. This is the same hand when you are pushing.
Good job.
Yay!
Do another one. 2 hands, remember. water hot, and then we'll pour it in there. Now hot chocolate, okay? Alright, let's set it back up on the table. Alright guys, we got our hot coffee and our hot chocolate. You can see Autumn has a big chocolate mustache all over. Is it good?
Yeah.
That's good. All your marshmallows gone?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, we'll have to get some more in a minute, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been working up a hunger and a sweat. So we are getting hungry, and we were kind of getting a little hot cutting up all the wood and whatnot. So I did go into the woods and get some long sections of old oak and maple and drug them over to the fire pit. And I've been picking away at that off and on a little bit. And I think now we're pretty good for an outdoor fire, but it is getting quite late out and the sun behind us is starting to set. So with that cold air coming in, I think what me and Autumn are going to do is we're going to close this door for the rest of the evening in a little bit. Not right yet, because I'm going to get the wood stove going inside, and then you'll be able to get out of your snow pants and kind of get a little bit dried up. And then we're going to start on supper, and then hopefully after supper we can move over to the outdoor fire pit. Yeah. And then when we move over to the outside fire, we'll shut this door, and then we'll get the tent nice and warm, so then if you do get cold, you can come back inside, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so that sounds like a plan. That's exactly what we're going to do. Before we do that, we're going to enjoy our hot drinks. I see you're already done. Yeah. You ain't getting any of mine. All right, so we're going to enjoy this. I'm going to pour her another cup of hot chocolate, and then we're going to get back to work. Okay guys, I got the stove going now, and I think I'm going to kind of do things in a different order. The wind coming off that lake is very, very cold right now, so I'm going to actually shut this door that you're looking through right now. I'm going to shut that panel off, and the door behind me that I've been coming in and out of is going to be the one door that we're going to use because it's opposite of the wind. So I want to close that entire panel and get this tent nice and warm because I'm a little bit worried with that chill coming off the lake. That autumn is going to start getting a little bit cold, and I really want to keep this fun for her. It's really important for me to keep it fun and interesting, so, and comfortable too. So I'm going to get some things squared away in here and probably get something rigged up. There is a hook at the top of the tent, so I can hang her snowsuit up there, but I'd also like to get some of my gear hung. So I'm going to go to the truck and see if I can find some cordage or some wire or something and maybe hook it onto a zipper up top and then click it on and go from there and have everything nice and dry. But getting this nice and hot and the tent nice and hot is going to be the priority for a few more minutes. And then I'm going to turn my attention outdoors and start on supper. All right, guys, now that I got that door shut, I am noticing that the wind off the lake is obviously blowing in on this panel. So what I'm doing right now is just freeing up these two guy lines, and I'm going to guy out this wall because I don't believe that we're going to be opening this door for probably the rest of the trip. It is cold. It would have been nice to have it open just for the view. And if I were by myself, I would, but I have to look out for her, so I got to do what's right, and what's right is shut the door and keep her nice and warm. And she's inside, by the way, I should say that. Autumn, is it nice and warm in there?
Yeah.
Yeah? So she's got her chair, she's all snuggled up in there. She's going to be coloring a little bit later on. I did bring your coloring book, Autumn.
Can I color some more pictures on it?
You want to color more pictures on it? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to guy out the tent and I'll go get it, okay?
Okay.
So that's the plan, guys. I want to get her situated with her coloring book inside, get her nice and dry and warmed up. I want to guy this out, and then I'm going to light the fire outdoors by myself. And then once we get kind of collected in our thoughts and whatnot, then Autumn can come back outside and sit next to the hot fire, do supper, and enjoy some of the outdoors. But right now, that right there will make a huge difference pulling that out. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, guys, getting some firewood split up for the outdoor fire here, and I got really lucky. This particular piece, just going to put my knife away here before I cut myself. This particular piece that I just cut into, this is oak, very dense oak. This whole log next to me is oak. This is a piece off of it. I got a big round off of it, and another long piece of it here. So I got quite a bit of this oak, and it is extremely dense and very dry. So I actually cut 2 long logs like this, the same length as the stove, and I moved them inside of the tent. That's going to be for later on to kind of compensate for some of those little bricks that I'm burning now during the day, because I do have to keep the stove going all night to keep us warm. So I usually let the stove go out when I'm by myself. That's not a problem, but where I have a youngster with me, the tent will be hot all night long. So I will likely get no sleep, but it's still going to be very, very fun. So this oak is incredible. What a good find that is. Very, very happy with that. So I'm gonna get this fire going in a few minutes. The sun is starting to set and the clouds across the lake are starting to pop with a little bit of colors, but the sky is basically blue. I mean, it's a whole blue sky except for a little bit of pocket of clouds over at that end. So a little later on, I think it'll be nice to just sit right here, have the hot fire, and hopefully have a beautiful view and listen to the crazy sounds out there on the lake. I love that. It sounds like Star Wars, like 2 TIE fighters going at it when that ice cracks, and it just, crazy sound, That's all I can say, insane. So I'm really enjoying this trip so far. I know Autumn is having a blast inside of the tent. She's in her t-shirt and pants just laughing, having fun. That tent is rocking some serious tent right now, or some serious heat. Very, very hot in that tent. So I have got to get more work done because the sun is fading very, very quickly, and I do want to get this going, and I would like to cook supper outdoors as opposed to indoors. So we got to get moving. I got to get some work done. Just wanted to give you guys that update as to what was going on and this amazing find. I'm super happy with that. Very, very dry and very dense oak. So get this all cut up, and then it's going to be fire time. All right, guys, Autumn is now back outside. She's all nice and warm and ready to go. Her clothing's all dry, actually, and I'm still wet, so I cannot wait to crawl in that tent later on and get dried out. So what we're doing right now is I've already split up all of my kindling, tiny little pieces, and I'm just showing Autumn basics of how to start a fire in the winter time. So we do have a lot of wet wood, but you can see that right there.
Yeah.
See how nice and dry that is?
Yeah.
That's from the inside. So that's from taking one of these and cutting it in the middle and getting the little pieces out. So I'm just taking her through a little bit of a crash course in winter fire starting. So this is kind of fun, actually. I'm going to be using birch bark, and I'm going to be using my fire steel to light the fire. So it'll be her, she's seen this many times, but it'll be her first time kind of being involved in it. So this will be a good learning curve. And basically, we're just going to get the fire going and start cooking. It is getting late fast. It is getting cold. That cold air coming off the lake is starting to get very, very chilly. So let's get the fire going. I think, judging by the breeze, the smoke is all going to go that way. So we're most likely going to position our chairs over there or over on this side, and hopefully all the smoke will go that way and out of our face, right? Cool. All right, let's get this fire going.
Yeah.
All right, so these little curls, these little tiny pieces right here,
Yeah.
I'm going to cut them. You collect them, and you put them in the little pan there, okay?
Can you cut this one for me?
Let me cut this one. You keep your fingers back, okay? Very, very sharp.
It was in here. That one was in here first.
Yeah, here's some curls for you.
See?
See how these little pieces?
Yeah.
You collect those as I cut them off, okay?
Yeah, cool.
Here comes some more.
Thanks.
Grab those, rip them right off. 2 hands, pull, 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 pull. You gonna get it? Here, let me try. Let me try and break it. There.
I take the other piece.
And put that in your pan. Keep it nice and dry.
My pan. Pan. You got more.
Yep, here you go.
Thanks.
You try and pull those off. I'll collect these guys. These are the little twigs that light the fire.
I got this.
See what I'm doing?
And this.
Lay them across nice and neatly.
Let's make a house.
You can make a house, yep. Go ahead. Put some on there.
A door lock.
Yep. Good job. You got any more?
Yeah.
A couple more over there. Put them on. And get them all built up here so the fire takes off nice and strong, okay?
Build some houses.
Yep.
I'm building a house.
Put them on top of your house.
And then I just need to always do something good.
Alright. Put them on there and I'm going to light this on fire, okay?
Okay.
A couple more pieces.
Yep.
Okay. put those guys up here. Here, can you reach? Right there. All right, one more. Good job. All right, now I'm going to scrape this birch bark with my knife and get a whole bunch of little fluffy pieces.
Yeah,
See?
and I can put in the fire.
Well, there's something that's going to happen with these. Watch.
Okay.
Get all these scraped up nicely.
Yeah. Scrape. Keep scraping. Keep scraping.
There it goes. Take that, and we'll make a little match with this piece.
Yeah.
And we'll put it right in the fire with all the rest. Just move back a little bit because all that smoke's going to go towards you.
I'm sitting in my own chair.
There, come over around this way.
Okay.
Yep, come right over. Quick, quick though, the smoke's getting pretty big. There you go.
The smoke is big now.
There, look at that.
Cool.
Now hopefully all this smoke will go away really quickly.
Yeah.
And then we'll have all this nice firewood to get on there.
Mom,
And then once...
I can do that too.
Huh?
I can do that too.
Yeah, I'll let you put these on when it's time, okay? But we gotta let all that burn down, get all the snow out of there,
Yeah.
and then we'll get some of this nice hardwood on there, okay? And then we can start cooking. Cool.
Cool.
All right, guys, supper is just seconds away from being started, but we got distracted again. We had to come out on the ice. The sunset was happening. The sky was cotton candy, purple, blue. Pretty cool, huh? All the pinks and blues. So we wanted to come out on the ice and just relax for a little bit. Now, I will say we're not very far from the shore. We're only about 4 or 5 feet. But I do know this area very specifically in the summertime. I can go out 40 feet and the water's only 24 inches for this whole area. It's one big sandbar. But I did check the thickness of the ice. There's a giant crack running along right in front of the camera, and it is 5 inches thick at least. I could not get to the bottom of that crack, but it is 5 inches thick plus. So pretty cool. We're just hanging out on the ice. We got our campfire in the background. How's that doing? Looks like it's doing really good, actually. We should probably get over there, get our pot on there, and get some food cooking. What do you say? All right, be careful. Step on the snow. All right, so we're gonna go start supper right now because I am starving and I do want to maybe even get the chairs out here and chill out just for a little bit after dinner. All right, guys, supper is just about ready. Just got to add the cheese. So we're keeping things very, very, very simple on this trip because she's the boss. So she wanted macaroni and cheese. She gets macaroni and cheese. And basically everything else. I asked her what she wanted to do, and we're just kind of doing what she wanted to do. So this is actually very, very fun. I do miss the company of coming out and being with very certain people. But I do really enjoy my time in the woods alone. So it's nice to be able to bring, you know, one of the kiddos here and come on out, especially for your first time. First hot tent trip in the winter.
Yeah.
So having a really great time, you know, playing out on the ice and enjoying the campfire and just relaxing. Because usually my videos are very, very, very different and they're all work. Lots of work. And this video, in this camping trip, is actually a lot of play, a lot of fun. So hold on to your fork there. I'm gonna dish it out here so you don't burn your hands. So we're just gonna kick back and enjoy our supper. Are you very hungry? I give you a lot. All right, guys, supper is all done. All the dishes are all cleaned up, and now we're just sitting in front of the campfire. Autumn really wants to go play, so trying to hold her back here just to say goodnight to you guys. We got sparkling water tonight, cherry flavor, PG-13 night. So this is actually going to be pretty good. It's called Cherry Bubbly. We're going to split that and enjoy it inside of the tent later on with our movies and snacks. But for right now, I'm going to load more wood on there. You want to go play for a little bit?
Yeah.
And then we're going to call it a night and basically say goodnight to you guys. You want to say goodnight to them real quick? Good night, everyone, she says. All right, and we'll catch them tomorrow morning with hot chocolate, coffee, and oatmeal, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's pull this up a little bit so you can see. Okay, you can go play.
Okay.
All right, guys, peace out, and we'll catch you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It is a freezing cold morning today. So the current temperature right now is minus 19 degrees Celsius. There is no breeze, thank God, because if there was a breeze coming off this lake towards the tent, it would probably push minus 24 to minus 25. So I am up all alone enjoying a cup of coffee out on this frozen lake. Autumn is still asleep, but I do have the kettle on and ready for a boil for her hot chocolate. So as soon as I'm done bringing you guys up to speed and finish with my coffee, I'm going to go in the tent and wake her up, stoke up the stove, and get her really nice and warm in there. So we had a really good night last night. I will say that it stayed very, very hot inside of the tent. It floated on average at about 30 degrees Celsius from where we were laying. Now above, way up at the peak, it probably reached about 40, but right where our heads were, our bodies were on top of the camp cot, it was basically 30 degrees. So very, very warm. The sun is coming up now, so there is some golden light starting to come up behind me. And man, I gotta say, last night there were some really loud cracks and pops out on the ice. And the tent just being, you know, right behind me, you could hear it and almost feel it in your chest. Some of those bangs and pops out here were tremendously loud. So very, very cool though. Autumn, she's not used to those sounds, so she jumped up and, "What was that, Dad?" And I was telling her, you know, the ice shifting and moving and whatnot. So we had a really good time though. We had movies, snacks, got all dried out. She got into her nice, clean, warm jammies and slid in that sleeping bag, and she was out after her first movie. Halfway through her first movie, she was out. So, and she slept all night. She's still asleep right now. So, pretty good time taking a youngster or toddler out. So hopefully this kind of helps you guys maybe come up with some ideas of your own to actually get out in winter, because we are nowhere's near the nearest road. Like, we drove about an hour back here. So we are in the middle of nowhere's, literally. So the only thing we've heard the entire trip is an airplane, and I can see it directly behind the camera, way off in the distance. There's an airplane circling, so that's the only noise that we've actually heard on this trip. Other than that, very peaceful. So I'm gonna finish up my coffee. It's basically cold now, and make my way back to the tent and say good morning to Autumn. All right, guys, so back inside of the tent now. Autumn's hot chocolate is made, but it's very, very hot, right? So I got it set aside so it's going to cool down, doesn't burn your mouth. I am going to make another cup of coffee. I made my cup of coffee with my little mocha pot earlier. Now I'm actually going to make a full cup of coffee that I've got the kettle all heated up and very nice and hot. So I'm going to make some coffee in my cup, and then we're going to do breakfast. We have little muffins that you like. But I also brought oatmeal, so you have a choice of oatmeal or muffins. We'll do something very simple, whatever you want. If you want both, you can have both, okay? All right, and your hot chocolate. I got our hot chocolate over in the snow right now, so it looks like it's actually cooling down nicely. And in a few minutes, I should be ready to drink. We even brought milk. I could put a little dash of milk in it to help cool it down, which would be very nice. So that's our morning routine right now. It is nice and hot in here. I bet you're still quite warm, huh? From being bundled up in that big sleeping bag. So I brought my North Face Blue Kazoo down bag, and I brought 2 closed cell foam pads. One just a cheapo off Amazon, and the other is the foil covered Thermarest Ridge Rest. So that was extremely warm all night on top of this cot. All the snow underneath the cot is already starting to melt, so that heat went underneath the cot, and we could feel it coming up from underneath. And then the sleeping bag, I only zipped up about 12 inches just to create a deep foot box, and then it was essentially just a top quilt. So I slept on the back side where it was cooler. If the stove died down, it was nice and cold over there, and kept her right up against the heat. It was hot all night, guys. I gotta say, I had to lean over her a few times to throw wood in the fire, and that did affect my sleep because I'm used to letting the stove go out. But overall, I gotta say, it was hot, it was comfortable. So, what do you say we get that hot chocolate?
Really?
All right, I'll get it for you, and you can sip on it, and then I'll make breakfast and coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here's your hot chocolate.
Oh, the cup is warm.
Take a small sip, see how hot it is.
Oh,
Very good.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Okay.
Perfect. Don't spill it, okay?
Okay.
2 hands. Good job. Alright guys, so I just found a baggie of cheese strings, and this was kind of my snack bag for late last night. I had some pepperoni, chocolate, cheese, and a few chips. She has opted for these muffins and cheese string for breakfast, so pretty simple. We're going to hold off on oatmeal this time around, and I already ate. I had oatmeal really early this morning when it was still dark, so I'm actually not even hungry right now, but she is. So here's your cheese string. And then we got these banana muffins, and these are really good. So, pretty simple breakfast. Plus, we got more hot chocolate that we're gonna do, right? I'll get more hot chocolate poured for you. So there's your muffins. You make sure all your garbage goes back in the bag, okay? And I'll get you some more hot chocolate. She drank all of her hot chocolate already like a good girl.
Yeah.
Very, very good. So I'm gonna make another one. I've got my coffee on the go. And give us some time to, or you some time to eat, and then we'll slowly get packed up. What do you say? Sound like a good idea? Cool. I'm gonna let that burn out,
Yeah.
and then get you dressed so you're nice and warm, and then I'll start taking some things over to the truck. Cool? All right.
It's almost all gone.
Almost all gone.
A bit.
You don't need any help? Come on. I gotta get my mittens on. My hands are cold. This one. Crusty. Come on. Up. How high can you throw? Come on. Up. Oh, he went over there. All right, guys. I got the truck started and warming up in the background, if you can hear that. Everything major, so all the big items are out of the tent. That camp cot took up a huge amount of room. So I will say, I will be doing a review on this tent. I will. I'm going to be doing very minimal reviews on the channel going forward because I want to be more of a film channel and I don't want to be doing a lot of infomercial type things. I will only do reviews on things that I think are fantastic and that need to be reviewed because they're great and there's not a lot of videos on the internet of them. So this tent is going to be one thing that I am going to review. However, I'm going to hold off on my review until the summertime because setting this up in the wintertime is a little bit of a challenge just to do for a quick review. So I think in the summertime what I'm going to do is set up all the things that I accumulate over the wintertime and then slowly pick away at reviewing them, and it'll give me a good opportunity to really use them throughout the winter and then give you guys a better idea of what I really think of it after winter is done in the summer. So stoves I will be doing reviews of course. Any stove I receive I'll do a review on it because that is very, very important. A lot of people are getting into hot tenting. Stoves are a must topic, and the other must topic is hot tents and then other things that I feel that are fantastic and they need to be reviewed. So with the side door open, you can see the access in here is tremendous. I will say right off the bat that I do have the inner tents to this. So there are 2 inner tents. There's a left and a right. They basically turn the ends into 2 sleeping compartments, and then this is the main area, and the stove would face this way instead of that way. But today with the large cot, we just turned it into one giant tent and we slept this way. So it makes it really easy to get in and out of the tent with that door open. That's kind of my message here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to detach the pipe and I'm just going to set it down on the ground so it doesn't flop and go all over the place. It is still very hot, and I'm basically just going to pull the stove out and set it down in the snow, let it cool down. Very important to put your stove and pipe far away from the tent because as soon as you start pulling these pegs, the tent might fall, and you don't want it landing on top of that hot stove because that would be absolutely terrible. So, I'm gonna get the side rack off first, and it is very hot, it's even burning my gloves. So, I'm gonna do a combination of holding the stove down and just kind of dismantling it, get the pipe off, and well, you know what? Let's just get it out of the tent right away. So, very simple. Just detach the pipe. I've already loosened off the ring. Very hot. I did put rocks on top of the legs to hold the stove steady. And now that that is free, I can just get the whole thing burning, firewood and everything right out of the tent. Now that I've got the stove outside, I can take the top piece off of it. So I can get that unlatched. Take the whole top piece off and just kind of just rest it in the snow and let it cool down and get all that fire burned out of it. And that's generally how I do this. I just set my stove off to the side, let it cool down, and then carry on with the tent and everything else. Of course, I'm going to notify her that this is all hot, do not touch it. So now I can turn my attention to getting the tent down, and today's pack up is going to be a ball up. I'm just literally going to cram it into a ball. It is completely frosted with frost and ice. So I'm just going to grab it, jam it into the stuff sack in a big ball, zip it up, throw it in the truck, worry about it when I get home. So that's the joys of truck camping. So there are a lot of coals still in here. Like I said, I'm going to dump that out and then get the tent taken apart. All right, guys, everything in camp is completely packed away and we are basically ready to go. So we were out on the ice for one last time, gave that a little go, had a little bit of sliding across the ice and a little bit of fun action. So that's all done. Camp is all packed up and it is now time to get out of here. So I have one last thing to get in. The tent in the bag is still on the ground. I'm going to throw that in the back of the truck. Get you out of your snow gear so you can get up in your seat and get buckled in nicely. And then we're going to go home. Sound good? Yeah. All right, say bye to everybody. Bye, everyone. Bye. She says bye, everyone. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching, and we will catch you in the next video. Peace out, guys.